Here is the progress for today. We was on TikTok Live. We have absolutely got this bar out. And I have poked my finger twice and smashed my other thumbnail to do this. Pretty intricate. This is pretty intricate to get this together. But the main wiring harness was basically on that dash piece. Here, we finally got the wiring harness out. Okay, we finally got the wiring harness out of this car. And then it had its own wiring harness with this dash too. But we're going to be working on getting this heater box out, whatever it takes, the pedal rack, this metal bar, get that pad off of there, and then we're kind of see what's going on with all that. And once we get that much, that was enough progress for maybe a couple days. I might have to take tomorrow off. Now, I got really, really tired. I was up to about 5, 6 o'clock this morning trying to do everything, make sure it was good for today, and it just turned into more than I wanted it to. But anywho, it's stripped out of the inside. Now, that's front to back. That's the seats, that's the carpet, that's the wiring harness, that's the dash, that's the dash pad. All we got left are the heater controls, that pad right there. You know, we may or may not be able to put that back in there. It's so intricate that I don't know. I just don't know. It would be nice to put it back on there, but, you know, after we cut and do all that and make that fit or whatever, I don't know. Now, it's got these extra pillar pieces. You know, a guy might have to, whatever it takes to get it in there, we're going to get it in there. But I think it's pretty close to that dash out of that Colorado. I looked at it once with it out. We had to put a heater core in it. Now, to pull a dash on this, man, I don't know. Those Malibu guys are hardcore. That thing's so little, you don't realize how little it is to the floorboard till you're trying to get in there. I'm not a huge guy, but man. But we was able to get all the fluids drained out of all that. We're kind of putting parts up. We had to strip this wiring harness off of here on this header board for the headlights. There it is. Man, let me tell you right now, you go to put a heater core or something like that in one of these cars, I don't know if you could pay me enough money. You'd have to be desperate for heat. I just tell you. Man, that took almost a week to do, just an hour or two at a time. It would take 2 or 3 days to get that out. And we still ain't got the heater box out. You know, if you've done a few of them maybe, but whoa. And there's the main wiring harness. It's completely out now. There's our 2 filler pads. We ain't been trying to tear none of this up. You know, we're trying to keep it all together. And then, like I said, if you watched the other update there yesterday, you can see. I think the next thing's next. We need to get the heater box out, and then we can come out here and drop this motor out of the cradle, slide it out, and kind of see what it's going to take to get that firewall out of there. The way they did that, man, it's kind of funky looking. But we're going to cut it out. I don't know if we can get the exhaust part, or we're just going to cut it because it's got a catalytic converter above that, and we want that catalytic converter. So if I can get it loose and get it apart, and it'll be okay, sure. But if not, I was able to get up a Sawzall, and I don't have nothing to take those fuel lines off with. I don't want to tear those up. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am tired. So I might have to take a day or 2 off. We might just count out and do a live and talk a little bit or something on the TikTok. But you can see, I still got a lot to pick up and a lot to clean up, and then we're going to figure it out from there. Wish I had a cutting torch. You know. You burn that out there and start getting eye blind to stuff and just get it done. But that's a pretty intricate little dash. If somebody was to put a heater core in one of those, man, I don't know. It'd probably take 2 days, 3 days. It'd be hard to get it apart and do it on a weekend. Now, to do that on a weekend, I don't know. That steering cluster, or that key cluster, I had to take it apart, and then, you know, it's full of springs and clips and buttons. I mean, it just fell apart in my hand. You know, I probably could have done a better job. I started noticing that shifting cable comes out with it. You probably should have just unbolted the shifting cable and pulled the cable with that and the dash and all in one piece, if you're going to do it by yourself. So, but if you unplug everything under that dash, it will come out as an assembly. Like right here, this came out as an assembly. But it was taking out the airbag control module, so that's the cluster, everything. That's a lot. That's a whole lot, and it's heavy. It sits up on that metal bracket, and when it sits up on them tits, right here, you got to bend them tits over these little nipples. and then it comes up. You got to pry these side pieces out on both sides, and then you got to pry it up and out. Hey, now, it's got 2 brackets, 2 bolts that go in it this way real high, and then it's got 2 on that side that come into this heater box real high. You get those out. Once you figure those out, take all the wiring harnesses off of that. And to do that key, I don't know. It's a lot, man. You know, you would have to have somebody that really liked you to do that for you. I mean, obviously, somebody would do anything for money. You know, eventually get it done. But to put all that back, it's going to be a job. All that duct work and all that, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. Bunch of little screws and 10mm bolts and a lot of clips. So I got to get all that apart, clean that out. You can see it's got mouse poo-poo all in it. I was wondering why it was bad. They're all in it. They've been all through it. I'm surprised it even ran after they were done with it. That's progress for today, guys.